end you were actually getting mad.
Yeah.
But you can blame PC as well, because he had a bit of input. Originally,
Did
we
he?
were going to make
Oh
PC
my God.
drive, but he was too obvious.
Yeah, he couldn't sell either. He doesn't have the range.
Yeah.
No, for sure.
Just
I would have
you'd know
recognized DC
immediately.
straight away
Yeah.
with his behavior.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
You should have pushed it a little further.
I felt I was right on the
I would
cusp.
have told you, like, you know what? No, just turn around and we'll go to the hotel instead.
But see, the thing is,
But you
You
take
were-
out the road map. I was like, oh my God. I was like, how easy is it to get like your Google Maps running?
Well, that's
on?
why I said at the start. I said
Yeah.
no sat nav required, Max, because it's all up here.
I was like,
And you were like-
trying to be nice. I was like, yeah, sure. No, it's very important to.
No, but you were very, very nice all the way through it, which is why I didn't want to push any further, because I felt like, I feel bad doing it. I didn't realize he's mega pissed off. He hit it really well. I thought, wow.
I mean, I don't get angry very quickly. But if I do
Clearly.
get angry, then yeah. So I was just trying to hide. I was just trying to hide it, trying to be nice.
I can't believe he thought there was a bomb under the car.
I walked out of the car. I was
I
like,
was thinking, what's he
not
doing? He
staying
did
in
it.
this car alone, and you just like
Man.
just walking off. I was like,
Oh, thanks, Kirst.
I'm still too close to the car if it explodes. I was just trying to walk off.
Oh, Max, that was awesome. All right. Okay, F1, here we go. What a season you're having, Max. It must feel like a dream come true.
Sorry, I'm
Are you still thinking about the taxi drive?
It's not going to be in this.
It will, I don't know if it'll be on the same day.
Okay,
Separate
alright, let's
VTs,
just-
but yeah. I'll start again. What a season you're having. It must feel like a dream come true.
Yeah, I mean it's like we wanted this for a long time, and to be able then to have a season like we're having for now, for the moment. Yeah, it's what everyone wanted, over here, and of course we're not even halfway, so there's still a long way to go. But yeah, so far I'm very happy.
A lot of happy people in that building. You say that
Just staring. Maybe Christian is watching.
is he up there in the windows?
He must be.
Is that what
around.
his office is? Just here?
Yeah, we have some fireworks. Maybe we can just shoot it through them.
Let me point this out. It's worth pointing out. You say, well, there's a lot of the season left yet, which is fair enough. Of course there is. But you're leading the championship by 32 points. I don't know if you know, but that margin, anybody who's had that in the past has never lost the championship. A 32-point lead has always resulted in winning the championship.
Yeah, but to be honest, I don't think. I think the gap is a bit bigger than it should have been. I mean, we just had a lot of good races, and I think in terms of competitiveness, we are closer than the 32 points because it has been a bit up in touch, and we have been ahead for sure in Austria. Our car was really good there, but for example in France, I mean, we won it with 2 laps to go, so or 1.5 laps. So it's a bit misleading. That's why I'm of course very happy where we are, but I also know there are a few tough tracks coming where I know that Mercedes are going to be strong. I mean, they have been strong all season, just not entirely on a street circuit or in Austria.
Well, maybe Austria, the last Austria was a little misleading because it was so commanding. I mean, your performance, we didn't see you the entire race. Watching it on the box, you were just out front, completely unchallenged.
Yeah, but then again, Lewis got damage around the stop, so then of course naturally afterwards it's easier to pull away.
Nice to get the Grand Slam though, the win, the pole, fastest lap and led every lap. Is that something you care about?
If it happens, it happens. I'm happy, of course, to win and then, of course, score the extra point because that's what counts. I mean, a Grand Slam at the end of the day, it doesn't mean anything. Same as a pole position. It just makes sure that you start at the best possible position for the race where you score the points.
The British Grand Prix weekend, this weekend. Last year you won the Silverstone 70th anniversary Grand Prix, so technically you haven't won the British Grand Prix.
I was at Silverstone though.
I know it's all a bit silly, but still. Are you eager to add to your tally that British Grand Prix winner Max Verstappen tagline?
Well, I think it doesn't I think it's just a great weekend. There are so many fans normally. That's why last year there were 2 races but no fans.
Yeah.
And it's an amazing track. We know, of course, the British fans, they love motor racing in general, and you could really miss the atmosphere. So yeah, I'm just looking forward to go back there. Of course, the whole weekend format is a bit different as well. and just see the fans. I mean, I know of course they will be supporting Lewis and George and Lando a bit more, but that, I mean, that's natural and that's normal and that's fine for me. But yeah, it's always a cool place to be.
I suppose you did have that moment in Austria where the Orange Army turned up. Just incredible. It was funny, I was talking to Mark Webber the other day, and he was doing some filming at the Red Bull Ring recently at the start of this week, and he said that your fans, no word of a lie, were leaving on the Wednesday. So you finished your race Sunday, they stayed Monday, Tuesday, left on the Wednesday.
Probably that's when they finally recovered from all the drinking.
That's what I'm thinking. Yeah. But I just think that's the passion there, that's extraordinary. Those guys, they go for it.
Yeah, I mean, I guess they also just made it like a holiday, you know, so they go away for like a week, they see the Grand Prix, then they stay for a few more days, have a good time around in the mountains, so it's great if you can combine it.
Fair play, they're a great bunch. You touched on it a moment ago, we're having our first sprint race weekend at the British Grand Prix. What are your thoughts? Excited? What's your take on it?
To be honest, I'm very open. I mean, I don't know if it's going to be good or bad. I like that we have a bit less practice, you know, before we have to head into qualifying. I'm always for that, but yeah, if the racing is going to be good, I don't know. I guess time will tell, and I'm just very open-minded about it.
Do you think it'll be an advantage for you or Lewis?
Depends which car is the fastest. That's going to be the advantage.
I knew you were going to say that. All right. Dr. Helmut Marko, this intrigued me, recently said that if Mercedes don't snap up George Russell at the end of the season, then Red Bull will be taking a long, hard look at the young Brit. How does Max Verstappen feel about that? Would you like George Russell as a teammate?
For me, it doesn't matter who I have as a teammate. I always believe in myself, and I'm confident that I can always do a good job, you know, so it doesn't matter who they put alongside me.
Just going to destroy them no matter who it is?
Don't want to say that, but I know that it's good, you know, to have a challenge, but I'm also very happy with Checo at the moment as a teammate. You know, he's doing a great job. I think the second race in Austria he was very unlucky, of course, because once he was off the track and then coming back he was in this DRS train and difficult to pass. But I think he has shown before, like the races before, that, you know, he's a great addition to the team, and you know, it's very important to have both cars, you know, to score the points. So.
I mean, that's hugely important. I imagine it's quite important for you to have a teammate that you really get on with and enjoy their company, because, you know, Checo's such a lovely guy. Everybody loves Checo. It's got to be a fun thing.
No, I mean, I think what is important is to have the team just working together, like fully, both sides.
Okay.
I don't even call it sides, because in our team there are no sides. It's just one whole team. So.
Nice. Have you let yourself daydream about what it will feel like to become a world champion in 2021, potentially?
I never do that. I don't know. I do my thing during the weekend in F1, but then when I get home, I'm also busy with other stuff. I'm dreaming more about different kind of setups I need to test on my simulator at home, preparing my sim race as well.
But the other dreams specifically are still Formula One. You're not dreaming about anything else but F1?
I don't dream about F1 too much, no. I mean, I know that's what I have to do during the weekends, but then once I'm home, I enjoy my time at home as well. Of course, I stay in touch with everyone and important things, and I do the simulator, you know, to make sure that you're ready for the next race. But I don't particularly have dreams about Formula One, so yeah, I don't know, maybe that's boring, but...
Well, no, it's practical. I think it's a good mindset.
It's just, I always said F1 is one part of your life, and whatever happens in F1 shouldn't define what happens, you know, it shouldn't define you when you get back home. So let's say you have a bad race, you shouldn't be grumpy at home. And that's how I approach it. Also, you know, when I win a race, for example, and I come back home, I'm not going to be like super happy suddenly and crazy partying. You know, that happened. I just focus ahead to the next race. But once I'm at home, I'm busy with other stuff.
Are you enjoying this rivalry between you and Lewis Hamilton? Does it get you pumped, or is it a distraction? What is it to you?
No, well, I think, of course, people always hype it up a bit, but I think it's just really cool that we are able to fight in two different cars against each other for the championship instead of always one team, and then you just have a teammate battle. And you know, Lewis, I think, is one of the best drivers in F1, you know, that F1 in general has ever seen. And to be able to fight against him is really nice. And I think you've seen in the fights we've had so far. Of course, we race really hard but fair, I think. And I think that's what everyone wants to see, and that's what I hope, of course, we can do for a long time. at least another 2 years after this. And I don't know what Lewis is going to do after,
Yeah.
but no, it's great. I'm, you know, at the end of the day, if it would be, you know, Lando, for example, or George in that same car, it's still the same feeling.
Okay.
But it's just great, you know, to have
But
two teams.
But you know, I suppose the difference is that it's, you know, it's Hamilton, the guy's like iconic, 7-time world champion, and I know you're very laid back about it, but us fans, we kind of imagine you looking into a mirror, screaming Hamilton, smashing it. Just that this is
Doesn't
what we
work like that.
this is what we picture. Like
Nah.
your every thought is consumed. Must beat him.
No, because it's so, like, in F1 there's so many good drivers, but some of them, they never get the opportunity to actually show how good they are. So, yeah, I rate Lando and George, for example, also very high compared to them. I'm just now talking about British drivers, of course.
Yeah,
being
which
in-
we appreciate
Yeah.
that.
But yeah, like I said, I really have a lot of respect for Lewis, and it's great to be able to race against him, especially he's in the sport already for so long. He has a lot of experience, and it shows. I mean, he has definitely won the championships on merit. I mean, he always did beat his teammate. I always said, of course, you know, when you put another very good driver in it, they would probably win the championship as well, but not, I think, in the same fashion as he has done, because he's just always been super consistent. He stayed out of trouble, and that's also a quality of a world champion.
Absolutely. Well, takes one to know one.
I don't know.
Max, you're a very impressive young man. Go well at the British Grand Prix.
Thank you.
Are you okay? Do you want me to call you a taxi or anything?
No, I'm good with taxis for
Yeah,
now.
you're done for a while.
Getting out of this taxi. And then he's asking me, what is this? I'm like, just
None
give
of
me
your
my stuff. No, I'm picking up kittens on Monday.
Oh, nice.
So, like,
So you're going to become a cat person?
I always have been. I
Oh,
mean, when I grew up at home, we had 5 cats, 4 dogs, a bird,
That's a lot of... What type of bird?
a cockatoo.
Oh, right, okay. Well, that's a lot of animals to have in the house.
Yeah, my dad loved it. He just rocked up with new animals, and then
Fantastic.
my mom was like, "Oh, great! I'll have to take care of it then." Yeah. No, it's fun though, growing up with animals.
I love a cat. We got a couple of dogs ourselves, but I do also love cats. I think they're fantastic.
It's different. I mean, you can't compare a dog with a cat. I mean, a dog is
yeah,
of course
yeah.
more loyal.
Yeah.
A cat sometimes doesn't give a.
Absolutely, they got their own
They're
thing
like,
going on.
just
I respect
Leave me
that.
alone. But it's quite.
Yeah.
I find it fascinating how they are. You know,
Yeah.
climbing and really
Yeah, they're awesome.
athletic. You know.
Yeah,
But I have to be careful because I live on the 8th floor.
Oh, shit.
So I have to close off the balcony because they don't know there is a big drop.
But
so.
see, this is what having animals does. You're already altering your life for them.
8th floor, it's quite high.
Yeah, maybe not. Maybe not.
What is it? Can they go out? No.
Well, on a leash. You can it's so funny in Monaco, the amount of people I see
No.
with a cat on a leash
Really?
walking them. Yeah, because
You're not
they
gonna
live
do
in
that,
an
yeah?
apartment. Well, I will go with them and then maybe, you know, you can just let them go off. But
Take them to the park, throw them some sticks.
Yeah.
Have you picked,
catching the cat is maybe a bit harder.
yeah. Have you picked any names yet?
Yeah.
What have we got?
Jimmy,
Nice.
because you got Jimmy's in Monaco, the club. So
Yeah.
Jimmy.
Nice.
Then you got Sass, so we call the female Sassy.
Perfect. Party cats.
Yeah.
Max, thank you, man. Perfect. Awesome. Look at that.
Great.
We certainly have eked a lot of Max Verstappen out of this day. Fantastic.
Lovely stuff. Lovely stuff.
We don't have any champagne, I'm afraid.
I can just go like this. I mean, yeah, it's a great start.
Formula One world champion and soundman for Channel 4.
Yeah. When you have a battery issue, you know, you just go like this. There's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah, it works.
It
Is that
works.
working? Are you picking up? All good? Yeah. Here we go. I know what you're thinking. You're used to doing 200 miles an hour and it's the British Grand Prix, but this is Britain, this is the Thames, and it's a Henley Regatta. Have you heard of it?
No. What's that?
Oh, it's a big deal here.
Is it?
That basically you sit down and take life a lot slower.
Okay. Let's give it a try.
Let's give it a try. Yeah, I'm not sure you're going to like it, but anyway, welcome.
It's nice and sunny. It's really hot. Hello. It's fans, my
Big
my
fan
fans,
of yours,
my
yeah,
fans.
exactly. Essentially, this is
Yeah.
our first proper sit down as Channel 4. I know we see each other
Yeah.
all the time, so what we're going to do is start with the World Championship in
Yeah.
Abu Dhabi and then bring it through the British Grand Prix. So there's
Yeah.
a bunch of questions in between. So when they give me the okay, so I know racing drivers don't like reminiscing, but you're going to have to do a wee bit of this now. We
We're on
good?
fire.
Okay.
The engine is running, and we're off.
So Max, we're on the Thames. So that direction, you'll arrive in Oxford.
Okay.
This direction, you'll end up in London. So this is a historic piece of waterway here in the UK, and you're at one of the most historic racetracks this weekend at Silverstone. But before we get to that, it's been a while since we sat down with Channel 4 and had a chat with you, and I want to take you right back to Abu Dhabi. You're there, in the car, new tyres, you've got a 7-time world champion in front of you, and you've got one lap to change your history.
Yeah, it was nerve-wracking at the time. I mean, the emotions.
Really
It
nerve-wracking?
was from yeah. I mean, that day, and people told me afterwards who shook my hand that I was ice cold, and normally just normal temperature. But that day, I was like, my hand was really cold. Like my dad said it, my girlfriend Kelly said it. So they didn't say anything at the time, but they could feel, of course, there were nerves.
And you felt it yourself as well,
I
or
was
it was
more
subconscious?
tense. Yeah, I was definitely a bit more nervous because you knew that, you know, this was it, the final race. You're going to be first or second. And yeah, even, you know, throughout that race, the emotions went up and down a lot. From initially, of course, negative to suddenly immensely positive. But that final lap, you know, you're there, you're behind, you're with the new tires, but you still need to make the move, you still need to go for it, and you don't know where it's going to happen or even if you have a chance, because you still need to nail that restart. So, you know, to go through all those emotions through that final lap was just crazy. And of course, at one point you realize like you're going to win the race, but then you still need to finish the lap, right? There's still you can still spin out or do something stupid. And then, of course, when I crossed the line, yeah, everyone was screaming in my ears, of course, on the radio from the pit wall, and I realized that, you know, everything you worked for since I was a little kid, like 4 years old, that was my final dream in F1, because you've won races, you've been in pole position, you have been on the podium in general, you know, so that's all been ticked off. But that final goal was winning the championship, and then to achieve that was, yeah, something really incredible.
It wasn't just about winning a championship, it was one of the most sort of globally divisive championships of the last 30 years. You've got to go back to probably Prost and Senna to relive a moment where people were like, oh, are we really believing what's happening in front of us? So, you know, I take the view that Lewis is 7-time champion. No question, he's quality enough to have deserved to win the championship last year. But you won more races, and you deserve to win that championship. But this is a very divisive championship, isn't it? So do you have the ability to step back and look at that almost like a fan, or do you just go, it's mine, and now I want number 2? You
know, of course, when I'm in the car, I, of course, want to go and win the race, or I want to win the championship. But when you look back at the season in general, just as a fan, I think if he would have won that final race, then people would say he's deserved champion. If I would have won, oh, I won. But like, you know, then I think it could have gone both ways, you know. So we both were on it the whole year. We both made it really hard for ourselves, you know. We were really fighting almost every single Grand Prix, but that's, of course, what people like. And I think what made it more special was, of course, 2 different teams fighting, and especially after such a long dominance of Mercedes, to finally have a car up there to try and, you know, beat them. I think it was a very special season, and of course throughout the season you don't even think about it too much, but I think now in the coming years, and maybe even when I retire, you look back at it, and I think it's very special to look back at that year.
So there's the thing, and I did a bit of racing, not at your level.
You did? Well, yes, you did.
In the same formula, but not with the same achievements. It was so intense, and you know, you won your first Grand Prix at 18, you're still a young man to be a world champion. How do you block out the noise, the praise that maybe makes you feel that you can walk on water, which you can try if you like on the Thames?
I can try now, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to drown.
There you go. And the criticism where someone wants to hold your head underwater. How do you deal with that? Is that something that's just, you don't know what you don't know, therefore you're living your life, or is it something that your father and your mother as racers have said to you, Max, look, you're going to be a champion, and when you are a champion, people are going to praise you and criticize you in equal measures?
My dad never said I was going to be a champion. He was always the opposite. He would tell me I was going to be a truck driver or like a bus driver.
Really?
Yeah, because he was always, in a good way, I think, you know, putting the pressure, but making me realize that what I was doing at the time was not enough. You know, I was winning my races and stuff, but he said it's not enough to be successful in Formula One, because it's not, you can't rely on your talent only to be the best. And I think slowly, of course, throughout my go-karting career, you start to understand that and start to work harder for it. And I think still, to my dad's liking, I think all the way to Formula One, I still didn't work hard enough in his eyes, because I have a bit more of a relaxed personality compared to him in terms of how I approach a weekend or how I deal with setbacks or just incidents, let's say like that. But I think that prepared me in a way very well for criticism or just positive noises, because I didn't really care. I was just very neutral. Like, I don't care if it's negative, and I don't really care if it's positive. You know, because it doesn't bring me anything. If I think I can walk on water, I'm gonna become arrogant. And when it's very negative, you're just gonna be upset and be angry at everyone. So it's better to just be in the middle and forget about both sides and just focus on what you have to do and what you can control, and that's what's happening in the car.
So that's interesting when you acknowledge that you don't want to become arrogant with it. You know, you want to focus on racing, you love racing, you want to win as many Grand Prix as you can, but you've achieved your goal. The first time I realized that not everyone likes me is when you read the criticism where people go, oh, he's an idiot, he doesn't know how to drive. And you have to adapt to being in the public eye. I think as race fans, whoever you support, that makes sense to you. But of course, if you are a Lewis fan, that means you're not a Max fan.
Yeah.
And vice versa. So how do you deal with that? How aware are you of that?
Of course, you know, when you are the one fighting their favorite driver, it becomes a bit more intense, right?
Yeah.
Because
it's personal.
A Lewis fan doesn't really care about someone who's finishing P18.
Yeah.
But it becomes a little bit more heated when you are the direct rival, but that's fine. But for me, I shouldn't adapt myself to what a fan likes, right? Because I'm me and I'm not gonna change because then you're fake. And if somebody doesn't like me at the end of the day, that's fine. I mean, everyone has different personalities or thinks differently about a person, and I'm the same, of course. You know, I like people, I dislike people, but that's life. And at the end of the day, you don't need to live with everyone around you. Like, everyone has their own life and deals with their own stuff, and that's how I go about it as well. And I just focus on my job, and I love racing and I love winning, and of course you need luck with that as well, with having the right car and the right people around you. But yeah, I don't, you know, at the end of the day, I also don't really think about it too much. I don't picture myself into a fan of someone else, another driver, how he thinks about me, because it's just a bit of wasted energy as well.
So you're very focused on where you use your energy. And one thing that, you know, having spent time with you away from the racetrack, you are very grounded, you are very focused on home and spending time at home. So do you think that is what gives you the energy then to go and attack the circuit? Because the last guy who went up against Lewis Hamilton and beat him, he was so exhausted he retired.
I think it would have been a bit weird if I would retire at 24, but no, I mean, everyone is different in their private life and how they recharge or, you know, get their energy back to go racing. For me, you know, whatever happens in F1 shouldn't involve or disturb your private life, because for me that's two separate things. So let's say if you have a negative F1 race, you shouldn't come back home and then spread negative energy around. So for me that's two different things. And also F1 is such a short time of your life, hopefully, that, you know, I want to do well in that space of time. But at the other end, like, if it doesn't work out, or you know, it's shorter than you would think or hope, then that's it. There are many other opportunities in life as well to do. So for me, I think that also kind of relaxes me.
It is working out. You're the current Formula One World Champion. You're leading the Formula One World Championship after what was a very difficult start to the year. The swing in points has been remarkable. So the psychology of how you deal with that, the frustration of the opening races versus where you are right now, and of course the flip of that is your rival and someone you've raced against for a long time, and I'm not sure he's a friend, but certainly a racing colleague, Charles Leclerc, he's gone from the high of leading to the disappointment of now trailing you in the championship. So that psychology, that journey that you're on, is it something that you've learned something about yourself during the journey, or you just take it as race by race?
I mean, experience in F1, but also in go-karting, you know, things can change very quickly. And of course, when you have retirements, you cannot, when you're fighting for a title, you cannot have them. And that's why I was very critical in the beginning. We cannot have retirements if we want to fight for the championship. Luckily for us, of course, it also happened to our competition, but not from now onwards, you cannot rely on that, because people will learn, people will improve their product, and you have to score points every single weekend. Of course, you always hope for the best, you know, score maximum amount of points, but you also have to settle for whatever it is if you can't win. And that's what I've learned over the years of Formula 1 as well. You know, sometimes I went a bit too aggressive, or you make a mistake, you lose all the points you have. So, yeah, it's just, you know, racing experience. Because I mean, I only did 1 year in F3 before I got to Formula 1. But at the time, you know, when I was about to sign in F1, my dad also asked me that, are you sure? You know, are you sure about making that jump to F1? I said yes, because I want to be there, and even if I make mistakes there, at least I'm in. And then we'll see what happens after. So we went for it, of course, and luckily it's all working out quite well. But yeah, it was a big learning curve for sure.
I want to talk a little bit about the battle with Lewis. It got pretty intense. It seemed to become not just between the two of you on track, where clearly there was a crash at Silverstone, where 1 year on from that moment there was the coming together in Monza, and then of course that incredible end to the season. So it wasn't just about you guys, it also got quite intense between Toto and Christian.
Yeah.
I've not seen that for some time, that level of intensity. So how much of that is a personal thing because of the difference in age between yourself and Lewis? Because it seems a lot more amicable, the battle you have with Charles Leclerc, the man that's most likely to challenge you for the championship this year.
Yeah, I don't think necessarily it was between the drivers, it was mainly because a complete different approach between the teams last year and this year. And probably there's a bit more respect between the two teams as well this year. I think that helps a lot. And for sure, you know, I know Charles for a longer time, because we basically grew up together throughout racing and go-karting and all the way to Formula 1. But I always had I still have a lot of respect for Lewis, and we always got on well. And also today, you know, as racing drivers, you know, you come together, but you also very quickly forget and just move on, because that's, I mean, the amount of times I've crashed with Charles in the past.
Oh, you did in karting?
Yeah, we did. But now we can laugh about it, you know. So it just, you know, racing drivers, they, of course, look at themselves. We want to do everything we can to win a race. And I think what is also the positive side about racing drivers, that we can forget very quickly and we just move on and just go to the next. Luckily, we also have a lot of races for that. But yeah, this year it seems all a bit calmer. And I just hope it stays like that, and we can just have great races.
It is incredible, the ability of sports people to turn the page and move on. But I do want to take you back to Silverstone last year, because that was a very emotional moment for the history of the sport. It was a huge crash for yourself, ended up being a pivotal moment in the championship, with Lewis coming back through and getting the success. Was that something where you looked at that moment and thought, this is getting personal, or you just saw it as another race where actually, instead of getting, you know, a non-finish, it was a big crash and you were taken off to the medical centre?
A lot of points lost, a lot of damage as well to the car. I lost an engine, so that eventually also gave me an engine penalty, you know, so there were a lot of consequences with that crash. And, you know, at the time I thought, you know, it's not really personal, I just didn't like the way the team mainly was celebrating it and things they were saying. Not my team, of course, the other team. But
so you would have done things differently today? You believe you would acted differently? If...
I don't think it would have happened like that anyway. But yeah, I think it would have been a bit weird to celebrate like that. But anyway, you know, could talk about it forever. I think at the time it was not nice, but at the other hand, you know, we were very motivated and fueled for the rest of the season to, you know, give it everything we had, because it was the first opportunity to really fight for a championship, and we were in good spirits even with that crash. You know, we rebuilt the car, we have the best mechanics out there, and we go for it again.
Now, I know when I spoke to you directly after the World Championship victory in Abu Dhabi, you said, I've achieved my goal. You were there with your father, you were there with your manager, and you were saying, if it never happens again, we've achieved what we set out to achieve. But here you are, you're doing it again, you're leading the championship. So are the goals different this time? Is the expectation different? Do you think if you're able to convert and be a 2-time world champion, the feeling will be different? Or how are you approaching?
I think it will be less emotional if it would happen, yeah. Because it's the same with the first race win. My first race win was still the most emotional win of all of them. Of course, forget the world championship win, but all the other ones, they've never been as emotional as that one, because that's the first time you get to taste something like that, which is such a difficult thing to achieve in Formula One. Yeah, I think it will be different, but I also prefer not to really think about that yet. We're on a good run, but we have to keep it going.
You're on a great run, leading the championship. We're approaching race 10, British Grand Prix. Clearly for us as Channel 4 and someone that's raced there and won there, this is the biggest weekend for us. Do you see that and feel that because of the team being based half an hour from Silverstone, or for you is it just another race with a big name?
Well, I know, of course, it's closer to base, but for me it's just a great weekend because I really like the track. You know, it's a really cool layout to drive. So an F1 car really comes alive around this track in all the high-speed corners. So I'm just looking forward to driving the track and trying to have a good result.
You won the sprint race, but you've not won the Grand Prix because of the incident we just spoke about.
Yeah, I mean, I've won the 70th anniversary race.
Okay.
So, I mean, I technically won already at Silverstone. So
I'm not taking it away.
There were no fans. So.
Yeah, I'm not going to take that away. That was, absolutely a great victory.
It counts as a race win. So.
It does, absolutely, yep. You know, I stood on the podium at Le Mans, even though I got disqualified. I still count it as a victory. So, the approach for this weekend, it's a different feel. There's going to be 145,000 people there on Sunday. It's the biggest spectators they've ever had at the Grand Prix. Formula One's booming right now. It's a good time to be a Grand Prix driver.
Yeah, it's nice, and it's always really cool to see all the fans. And you know, motorsport, the history around here in England it's crazy. So I think for us, all of us, basically all the drivers, we really enjoy coming here.
You're leading the World Championship. You're with Red Bull Racing. You've signed a multi-year contract, and it's actually quite unusual. You've signed for multiple years to stay with the team. Charles Leclerc has signed multiple years with Ferrari. That never really happened in the past. What was the stimulus? And you went early. What was it that made you go, right, this is the team that I want to stay with for the majority of my career?
The relationship I have within the team with all the people. You know, you need to be able to be yourself as well and be happy at what you're doing and where you're doing it at. And all of that, you know, clicked. And of course, our goal was to win a championship. We did that. And I believe in the people who are already at Red Bull, who are coming into Red Bull. And yeah, I really believe that we can be successful for a while, you know, and that's why I committed for such a long time.
You've never been controversial with your teammates. You've always just got on with what you're doing. But there does seem a real sort of camaraderie there with Checo. He's a more experienced teammate. Does that help sort of carry the burden, if you like, in developing the car? Or that's your teammate right now?
Well, I get on really well with Checo, and you know, he's a nice guy. He's been in the paddock, of course, for a long time, but never my teammate. And I think already last year we really connected well, which I think is also really nice for the team, on and off track. And we want the same thing from the car as well, so that's always a lot nicer for the whole team, you know, to work with, that you're always looking in the same direction. And yeah, I'm really happy. I never expected it to be this good, to be honest, but yeah, it's always very nice that it turns out to be like this.
Your relationship with GP, your engineer, you're like an old married couple. You know, he stays so calm when he's telling you, Max, focus. When you're going, this is not right, that's not right, because the emotion in the car is what it is. And then you have the lighter moments where you're kind of joking with each other during a Grand Prix. So I'm always fascinated by the personal relationships. Is that part of something you've stipulated going through, that you want him to be your engineer, or how has that developed in the way it has?
Yeah, I got to Red Bull and they said, this is your race engineer, and I was like, okay, well, we'll just get on with it. And it was my first weekend, and of course that was already a crazy weekend. And since then, you know, we always work together. And what I think is very important is with a race engineer, you don't even need to say anything. He knows exactly what you want or what you need from a car. and that he can see that already from the way I'm driving the car, and that over the years has developed really well. So yeah, for sure for me, I cannot see myself, let's say, without GP on my side as an engineer, because it is super important, to have that good connection and click basically to to get all the performance out. And I do have to say sometimes the Italian side comes out a bit, which I like, because then he gets triggered a bit and then he's on fire. I like that.
You raced a lot in Italy in karting, so you've experienced that over the years.
Yeah, it's good. I like it. I think it's good because he should be able to tell me off, and I should be able to tell him off. And not many people actually appreciate that, but I always said that from the start, that's how I like to work, and he seems to appreciate it as well. And afterwards as well, we can laugh about it and just enjoy.
I find that interesting because a lot of people might assume once you become a champion, no one's going to criticize your driving, but he would look at the data and go, Max, what are you doing there? Your brake application is...
But that's also what I want from him. Like, I mean, if he's not doing that anymore, then at one point, you will start to miss the little details, which at the end of the day will make you good or successful, So I demand that has to be said. Because you're never perfect. You never will be perfect. So you can always improve.
British Grand Prix, you're driving for a British team, although under an Austrian flag. Of course, there's a lot of support for the British drivers, Lewis, George, Lando. How much does that affect when you go around and do the driver parade and you see all the Union Jacks? There'll of course be a lot of Dutch army there, there's a lot of support for Red Bull generally. But do you feel that you're slightly to one side in terms of support here? Do you feel it's more for Lewis? How does that affect?
Actually, it's definitely more for Lewis, but that's fine. I mean, at the end of the day, I need to do the performance on the track, and I hope I have a competitive car and I can just focus on my job on the track and just create a good show, for everyone out there.
What's your expectations? You get a lot of simulation tools. You've been 9 Grand Prix already this year. Ferrari have been blindingly quick in qualifying, but you've had the pace in the race, which is where clearly it's important. What would the predictions suggest going forward into the weekend? Mercedes have been coming back, and for the Mercedes fans watching Channel 4, are they going to be closer to you? Are they going to be challenging?
I do think they will be closer because they've always been very competitive in high speed. So far the whole season, and not that competitive at low speed, but of course naturally this track is more about high speed. So yeah, I heard of course they're also coming with quite a bit of an update, so naturally that will bring them a bit closer. And between us and Ferrari, yeah, for sure, in qualifying they're always super quick and hard to beat. But then again, this is a very high wear track for the tires because of all the energies you're putting in the tire and all the high speed corners. So it's going to be really interesting to see how the cars are going to behave on the tires again throughout the race.
I remember when I was racing, I would get to about halfway through the Formula 1 season and I'd be mentally tired, I'd be exhausted because I was having to work beyond my talent to try and compete. How are you feeling? Race 10, are you
I'm
feeling...
good for now. I think it's good to have that little break in the, let's say, the middle.
Yeah.
Because it is like, there is a lot of driving, a lot of racing, a lot of races, but for the moment everything is feeling good. And also, I mean, if you're on a good run, that helps naturally.
It's so peaceful, isn't it, being on the water?
It's nice. I enjoy like having basically the day on the boat. I don't like having a boat myself, but just for the day out, I enjoy it. This is nice. It reminds me also a bit of back home, being on the lake or whatever. Like just
a lot of waterways in Holland, isn't there? So yeah.
Yeah, a bit on the river.
I actually find it quite romantic.
You're gonna little.
Do you mind if I snuggle in? Just a wee 40 wings.
Yeah. We can do this in Monaco as well.
We can. We talked about your relationship with your engineer, we spoke about your relationship with Checo. You also have a good relationship with the two senior people of the team. You've got Helmut Marko representing Red Bull and Mr. Matic's interests, and then you've got Christian Horner, someone that I actually raced against way back in the day. The fact that he's a racer, the fact that Helmut's a racer, does that help your relationship with them?
I think so, and I think also for the whole team it's very positive because he understands our point of view, and also he's a great motivator within the team. he's there for anyone. You know, if they have issues or whatever, you know, he will always talk to them and or at least find out as well, and just make sure everyone is feeling good. And you know, he's a great talker as well, and I think that's very important as a team boss to have. So yeah, I get on really well with him. I know him, of course, now for quite a few years, and we've had a lot of, well, let's say good moments, and of course a few little bad moments. But that's part of a relationship in general. And yeah, it's really enjoyable to work with Christian, and yeah. I think it's always very positive that he comes onto the radio after the race, because that normally means we've done a good job.
Yeah, absolutely. He normally reminds you you've just won a Grand Prix.
Yeah, exactly.
Have you, I know you're not really tracking social media, and that's not something that's a particular motivation for yourself, but is there a misperception out there that people come up to you occasionally and say, oh, I didn't know this about you, or I didn't like that about you? Is there something that you ever felt that, well, I don't understand why that misperception's out there?
Well, that might be. I mean, of course, sometimes you can be portrayed in a way by other platforms or whatever. You know, they put you down and they don't really know you, and they don't really know me personally. And yes, for sure, people might think about me in a certain way, but that's, at the end of the day, that's fine. Of course, you know, you don't always get the opportunity to get more time with me privately, but I don't, you know, people sometimes think I'm a bit arrogant, but I think I'm just very straightforward, and I know what I want, and I will do anything I can you know, to get to that point. I don't think that's arrogance. It's just really like I'm committed. I love the sport, I love racing, and that's what I grew up with as well. My whole family, my dad, my mom, everyone was involved. So yeah, I think when you're really just committed to something, yeah, you just really on it. You really are going for your goal, and I don't think that has to do with arrogance, because I know I'm not perfect. Nobody is perfect. I know, you know, that I constantly want to improve as well as a driver. So yeah, just take it, you know, you just move on with it.
I tell my 13-year-old who's racing karts that he has to be a student of the industry, and he's got to think about it when he goes to sleep at night, and he's going to think about it when he wakes up in the morning. Is that something that resonates with yourself, or is your natural talent so much that you don't need to do that? No,
you have to live for the sport. I mean, for sure, you need to know everything about it, even in history as well. And my dad, you know, also just the mechanical side of it, I think is very important, that you at least, you know, you don't need to be an engineer, otherwise, you know, you can study for it, but at least that you know the basics about it, so that you can talk to your engineer about certain kind of things or what you can work on. And yeah, for sure, I mean, but also if you're really passionate about it, it should come by itself. You know, you should want to learn that by yourself. And yeah, I mean, of course it helps if you have a dad, like knowing a lot about it. But sometimes my dad would tell me to shut up because I was just asking him too many questions about it. But I guess that's a good thing.
And your mother, she was a successful kart racer as well. So does she ever try and give you some driving advice, or a long time since she did that?
My mom never really gave me any driving advice, but she was always a very loyal supporter, of course. I think she always got very nervous before every race I was doing. But I think it's nice that at least, you know, I'm not talking in like very basic language to her. You know, I can really just talk about it in quite a specific way, and she understands, and that's nice, I think.
Yeah. Well, Max, it's been a privilege to spend some time with you ahead of the British Grand Prix. I know you're used to travelling at 200 miles an hour. I hope the few knots of the Thames was not frustrating for you.
It was very lovely.
You enjoyed it?
Yeah, absolutely.
We wish you all the best for the weekend. If you'd like to leave.
I'm gonna make my move. Thank you very much.
And I'm going to turn to the camera at that point, Jody. And there you have it, two-time world champions. They're just like you and me. Max, you're a great sport. Hey, Max, good to see you, man.
Right.
Yeah, top notch. Yeah, it's Britain. Anything could happen. And action.
And
how did you get here today? Taxi from the airport? Yeah, there it is.
We're not doing that anymore. Oh my God,
we had fun, didn't we?
That was horrible. At the time. Now it's good.
Now you can laugh about it.
I really thought I was gonna die. Or I got blown up or something. It was really bad.
I'm glad I could make you feel that way. So exciting. Well, you know what? I'm honoured that I made you feel excited in some way because you've been doing that ever since. I mean, you've been absolutely crushing it. Who would have thought here in 2023 you would turn up here at Silverstone in the fashion you have, as in you're unbeatable?
I wouldn't have expected that. I think after last year we thought, we have a great race car, but it's going to be very tight. I think we all surprised ourselves with the pace we had from the start. But then still, we had, of course, a very quick car, but to be able to do what we did as a team, to win all the races so far.
11 in a row.
Close to that. Isn't it 10?
I think
Is
it's
it 10
11.
in a row?
I saw a fact earlier 11. Have I got that wrong?
Or 10, I don't know,
Hey,
whatever.
it's a
It's
lot.
a lot of races in
Yeah.
a row, so it's great, but now it's all about keeping, that momentum going, and also the development rate, of course, starts to kick in now. A lot of teams are bringing a lot of big upgrades. We will too, but not here. But yeah, honestly, it's been an incredible start to the season.
It's just phenomenal, and people are losing their minds. Obviously, the Dutchies in euphoria, but a lot of the fans are just so frustrated. You can't be beaten. How do you feel about that? Do you love to disappoint those people?
It's Formula One at the end of the day. I mean,
Yeah.
it happened before in F1. I mean, you only have like the odd season or 1 or 2 seasons in a row where maybe there are a few more teams fighting, but that's very, very rare in the sport. Of course, with the new regulations, we are trying to bring it closer. And I do think, if you compare it to like 20 years ago, it is already a lot closer. But it's all so professional now that we're doing a good job. But again, it's about just not making mistakes or try not to make too many big mistakes, in a weekend. And that's what we are really aware of and what we try to eliminate.
I think it's worth mentioning that you showed a lot of patience to get to this point. I mean, you basically drove for 7 seasons before you had the car that could give you a world title. It feels like the patience it's well deserved, this success.
It's paying off now, yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm of course very happy in the situation I'm in, but also the whole team. They of course we all had a bit of a rough time. I mean they had 4 years of great success with Seb, and then we're going, I guess, a bit through like a rough patch, but we never gave up and we kept on pushing to try and be back on top. And we are, of course, on top at the moment, but now we want to, of course, stay there because we know how it feels when you're not on top.
I suppose the reality is, though, we should have this 3rd title wrapped up in Qatar, Japan. It'll be in the bag.
Yeah, I don't like to think about it too
I knew
much.
you were going to say
And,
that.
I want to win more. I don't want to make it dependent on these kind of like, think about where we can win it. I first want to win a lot more until we get to the point where it is possible.
Okay. You are a racer through and through. You're a racer. When you're finishing, say, 20 seconds ahead of your nearest rival, that's not technically racing. My worry is that you're going to get bored.
No, it's the opposite. I think I would get bored if I don't see the opportunity to fight for a win. For me now, actually fighting at the top, I'm really very motivated. I mean, I love what I'm doing, but also the challenge of actually wanting more, trying to stay on top, trying to actually make the gap even bigger. That's probably my motivation now. Okay. So for me, it's definitely not boring.
That's good to hear. Because I was thinking in Austria when you pitted in the closing moments of the Grand Prix, that was just you spicing things up, yes? Because I feel that was just you going, let's have a bit of fun. As soon as the pit crew said, Max, don't come in, it's not worth the risk, I knew, he's going to come in. Definitely.
I was going to try to go for the fastest lap anyway, even if it was on the old tires or not. But I think the team also understood that, it was a safer bet, probably trying to go for the fastest lap on fresher tires than on the old ones. Sometimes, no risk, no fun. So, you need to spice it up a bit. I mean, that's also, I think, how a bit of a motto like Dietrich used to have and use, no risk, no fun. So we implemented that as well.
I mean, that's a world champion mentality right there. You said you won't stick around to break records. You're here for a good time, not a long time. Here's one I'll put out there. By the end of the season, you could be 3rd on the all-time Grand Prix winners list, leapfrogging Seb. It's crazy. Do you care?
Not necessarily, but I mean, of course, it's a great achievement, and of course, I'm already very proud where I am now. But it's not something I ever thought about too much when I was growing up or trying to get to Formula One, because you don't know. You simply don't know how your career is gonna gonna go. And then in Formula One, sometimes you need to have a bit of luck as well, you know, to be in the right team for a long time to be able to achieve these kind of things. And yeah, I'm of course fortunate to be in that position, and yeah, some others maybe not, or maybe later in their career. You know, that's why I find these numbers. You know, it's whatever. I mean, I'm already very happy with what I have achieved in Formula One. It's more than I could have dreamed of anyway when I was a little kid. So it's perfect.
You've won at Silverstone once before. Where does Silverstone rest on the Max Verstappen favourite places to win?
Yeah, it's very high up.
Good.
Yeah, it's a great track, but not only the track, it's just the whole atmosphere. You know, motorsport is so big in the UK, and not only Formula One, of course, just any kind of motorsport.
480,000 people turning up this weekend.
Yeah, it's insane.
What?
Yeah, but that's really nice, you know, to see. Of course, there's also a lot to do around the track, and yeah, it's a great venue.
I should also say that's 480,000 people who probably don't want to see you win.
No, I think quite a few English people are fan.
You're dreaming.
I think they are.
Okay.
You will be surprised.
Really? Okay, I'd be amazed. We all know you're absolutely crushing it this season. Blah, blah, blah. Let's stop banging on about it. I'm far more interested in finding out how you've changed since becoming a two-time world champion. How has the day-to-day life of Max Verstappen changed? So I've crafted some questions to get to the bottom of this.
Okay.
Let's begin. Do you still take out the rubbish?
Sometimes, not a lot, but I didn't do that 2 years ago as well.
What, it's just something you refuse to do? You're like, I'm not doing that?
No, it just depends. Honestly, if it's full, then yeah, I take it out. But if it's not full and then I'm gone and it's full, then yeah, and I come back, it's empty. Yeah, what can you do?
Fantastic.
Yeah, I have a full house, you know, so yeah.
There's always somebody on hand to do it. Are we talking a shoot situation or a skip in the back alley?
In terms of
Put the rubbish in a chute?
no,
or-
well, you have to go down. I live in an apartment block, so you have to go down.
So you could bump into a neighbour, you got a bag full of rubbish.
Could be, yeah.
That's very real. I like that. Big score there. Do you now have a private chef, or do you still make your own pot noodles?
Both not.
No,
No, I mean, of course, my girlfriend, of course, can cook as well, but also sometimes I order. But no cooking and no private chef.
Let's talk fashion. Is it all designer wear and gold-tipped boots nowadays, or do you
Like
still... You don't wear this in the house, do you? Surely not.
Well, I mean, jeans and trainers.
You don't have a...
Honestly, I'm really not that interested in fashion. I mean, maybe it comes later, but for me, it's not who I am. I just like to walk around in pretty chill clothing.
Like a tracksuit with a
Just
ketchup stain on it?
easygoing t-shirt. I don't care. Like I'm not interested to look in the mirror. I'm like, oh, this looks amazing. You know, this is like really, really cool.
Okay.
Just like to live my life nice and easy.
I'm not surprised by that answer. Let's talk friends. Now you're a two-timer. Have you got rid of all your old friends and replaced them with celebrities like Timothy Chalamet and J-Lo?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
No. I know who my real friends are, and they were also there when you had your tough times, you know, when you needed them. And they're still around. And for example, after this race weekend, my friend, he's still racing in go-karting. He's flying in on Sunday night. Then on Tuesday, you know, I go private testing with my GT3 cars, and just have a good time with him as well. Yeah, try to combine the time a bit, you know, because he's very busy, I'm very busy, but yeah, just try to bring everyone together here and there where you can.
Yeah, so I think I know the answer to this next one. I was going to ask, what about holidays? Magaluf with the boys, or are you more likely to go to some oddball billionaire's private island?
Definitely the private island. Love it.
You like the weird stuff?
No, I mean, yeah, I like to, when we have holidays, I like to spend, of course, time with my family, but also close friends. Try to just, yeah, have good times together where you don't really talk too much about racing, but just life, and honestly, have a good time. Like last holiday, one of my best friends as well, I think we were heading a ball in the water for like 2 hours straight. That's the only thing we were doing.
That's it.
I just love it. I mean, you just don't need to talk about anything, but because we know each other so well, the only thing we were caring about was just how many times we could head the ball.
And how many times could you head the ball?
34.
It's pretty good.
I almost felt like a dolphin. Oh no, it's a seal, isn't it? A seal is quite good with it.
Yeah, seals are good,
It's
but
a seal.
dolphins are good too.
Yeah.
They can do it. Flipper knows
Okay.
what to do with the ball. Your boiler breaks. Do you call a plumber, or do you ask your manservant Crundale to do it for you?
No, well, it's all part of the service in the block, so I would have to call the concierge downstairs to report that something is broken.
Did you say concierge?
Yeah.
That's
That's
no.
part of the
That's
monthly rent I pay.
too posh, Max.
Come on, it's the monthly rent. It's all included in the rent.
It's all included, so it runs like a dream. It rarely breaks down because when
Still
the
need to
boiler
pay it.
goes, it's annoying.
That is not nice. Yeah.
So if, even for a two-time champ, the boiler breaks occasionally.
It can happen in the south of France.
Drives me nuts.
Does it happen a lot in the UK?
Yeah, I kind of inherited my boiler in my new house, and it's an old piece of junk, and we should buy a new one, but I keep getting it fixed.
And then you're happy for like a week and then it breaks down again.
Yeah, generally though, the best scenario is that I'm just about to leave the house to come do F1, and then it breaks, and then it's
You're
my
like,
wife's problem. Oh, babe.
So sorry.
Good luck with it. Last one. Do you have your girlfriend now call you two-time world champion Max Verstappen, or just Max?
Definitely not the first one.
She wouldn't agree to that.
No, it's probably also not that impressive to her, right? Her dad is 3 times world champion, so I still need to catch
That's
up.
an excellent point. Yes.
I'm still catching up.
You got a like a pet name?
Me, pet name.
Your girlfriend has a pet name for you, or?
We call each other a bit different, yeah, but I prefer not to say that on camera.
Thought I'd go there, just went
Yeah.
for it, because I love those pet names. My wife calls me Big Boy.
Why is that? Can you explain?
Max, I'd rather not go into
Okay,
it. You're
all right,
being
right.
too personal now.
Big feet.
And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. 2-time world champions. They're just like you and me. Max, you're a wonderful sport. It's great seeing you, man. You enjoy that?
That was good.
Do you feel like you gave something of yourself there?
I think so. It's much better than just having this normal random interview about, oh, what do you think the car is going to do? Oh, what do you think of the other teams? Yeah, no, I mean, they might close up a little bit, but, you know, we're having a great season, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. I prefer the more just personal stuff a little bit. Not too personal, but
Well, of course.
we have a...
There's
yeah,
a
it's fun.
balance.
Exactly.
There's a balance. We
It's
respect
good. I
one
like
another.
it.
But this is good. I'm going to send this into Channel 4 and they're considering, you know, firing me in the future. Like, well,
Well,
Max,
honestly, after that taxi ride, no.
you could have gone.
No, it's all right.
It
It's
would
all
have
good.
been deserved. I love the top and tailing at the start of the interview and the end. It's still on the taxi. You still haven't quite
I
got
won't.
over it.
I won't forget
Well,
that.
you did tell me that weekend after that you're going to get me back at some point. I'm still waiting, big boy.
Yeah, don't don't say that too often.
Okay. Max, great talking to you, man. Thank you, sir.
Are you wearing that one today, or is it just a? Are you going
Yeah,
to wear
I'm wearing it today.
Excellent. That's
We
cool.
made it just in case that if I would win it on Saturday, then I will wear it on Sunday. So
It's cool, isn't it? Very nice.
yeah, just a bit different.
Yeah.
I like the dark blue, but then the red interior. Fantastic.
Do you find it difficult to sleep in here with the light?
Yeah, I can't close the curtains
know,
good,
likewise.
well enough. I'm
know.
trying to put like a chair against it, you know, to
Yeah.
push it. Yeah. At home, I really need to have it dark, like
Yeah.
the shutters closed,
I know.
fully dark.
I'm the same. I'm the same. Well, happy? In 3. So, Max Verstappen, 3-time world champion. You don't seem to do it in a straightforward manner. The first one, it was all about the last lap. The second one, it was a confusion in Japan as to whether you'd won. And here you've done it on a Saturday, and we've got a Grand Prix later, so it's not like you could go and party.
Yeah, I blame F1 for that, introducing the sprint weekends. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, these kind of things are not in your control, right? I just, of course, always try to score as many points as possible, and that made it, of course, then possible to win it on a Saturday. But it's okay.
But you did get a little bit of a time to be with your team. I saw the mechanics, they were celebrating it because you had the Constructors' Championship a couple of weeks ago, and then, you know, a third straight Drivers' Championship, putting you there with Fangio, Schumacher, Vettel, Hamilton. That's a pretty exclusive club.
Yeah, I mean, these kind of things, of course, I never thought was possible when I started racing. Of course, I remember watching F1 and you're like, one day I want to be on that podium. I want to try and win races. And now that you're here, you know, with 3 titles is quite, crazy to think about. I mean, you never really think these kind of things are possible and put your name, you know, in between those names. But of course, incredibly proud. And I also said, already on the radio, like on the in-lab, like you talk a lot about performance and you thank a lot of people for their performances and what they contribute to the car and to the success of the team. But you don't really talk about actually just the enjoyment of working with people. And, every weekend you get to the track that, there's so many just, of course, brilliant minds, but also just nice people to work with that, it's, just fun as well, just enjoying the weekends.
Yeah, you don't strike me as someone that suffers fools easily. So if you weren't feeling good within that team, then you wouldn't be able to perform at this level.
For sure. And that's also like, for me, Red Bull, of course, I've been part of Red Bull for a long time now, but it's like a second family as well. So it's incredibly important, to try and keep that, important group together. And of course, we try and win more.
Like any family, sometimes the conversation is quite short, and we have this, we're treated to this with GP and yourself. When you're in the car, emotions are running high, and you'll be quite to the point, and he'll be almost like a school teacher in a way. He chastises you and says, "Focus, Max, concentrate."
Yeah.
You enjoy that part, and the fact that we now all get to listen to it as well. Are you aware of that, or are you just very much in the moment?
I think I definitely need to try and speak to marketing. They have to put like a compilation again together at the end of the year of all our radio messages throughout the year. It was again quite funny. We had that 10-minute practice session or whatever, right, before we had the sprint shootout, and I had a little moment, and I really went off the track. And Shupi came onto the radio. He's like, why didn't you continue pushing, like, to see what was going on in the rest of the lap balance-wise? I was like, mate, like, I was off the track in the gravel, and there was a car next to me. I was like, I can't just keep pushing. Okay, fair enough. He didn't see the footage yet. He thought I just had a little wobble, and then aborted the lap.
Yeah, and gave up.
That's why we have a very honest relationship, very straightforward. I think we both have quite strong characters, but that's what I like. That's how I prefer to operate in a team. Like, we need to be honest to ourselves, and that's why I think we have a great relationship.
So you're at the vast age of 26. You're the 3-time world champion. The pictures, of course, from when you first entered Formula One, it was like a boy's face. You sit in front of me now. You've fully formed man. You've had so much success at such an early stage of your life. People are curious, of course, what the future holds. So you don't seem so sort of motivated by, I want X amount of titles or X amount of wins. It seems that you just want to turn up and be competitive and, of course, try and win at each race. So what does the future look like for you now that you've achieved so much at such a young age?
Yeah, I mean, again, like, I live, day to day, and of course I'm enjoying the moment. And of course, again, next year we'll find out how competitive the whole package is. But I've got a couple of years left anyway on my contract. I want to do the best I can. And from there onwards, we'll see. I mean, also, I think it's very important that every time that you wake up and you look in the mirror and you can tell yourself, I'm fully committed, to giving it everything I have, because, you're away from home a lot. You're traveling a lot. You're not spending a lot of time with your family and friends. So as long as I can say to myself it's worth it to go out there and do the best I can, I will stay in Formula One. But I've never been like, I need to win 7, 8, whatever titles, 5. There's no real number for me, because you're so dependent also on the package that you get every single year.
Well, a couple of things actually that come to mind on that. I remember well interviewing you the Monday after Abu Dhabi, your first title, and you were there with your father, and you were very much of the mind, if I never win another title, we've achieved our goal. We've achieved what we set out to do. You seemed already, you had inner peace, which seems to tally up nicely with what you're saying, that it's not about how many.
Yeah, when I started racing, of course, the ultimate goal was like, if, of course, you have the opportunity to win a title, that's incredible. Because at the end of the day, if you win 1 or 7, it's the same thing. So there is no real, for me, extra value to it. But of course, it's nice now that we are in this winning streak and you keep on winning. That's exactly what I'm here for, but also what I grew up with, like winning. That's what defines this sport. And I just try to enjoy the moment and try to do it as long as I can.
You have achieved this incredible success now in, let's say, unusual ways, each way the championships come to you. Does this one feel more special in any way? You say they're all the same, but the fact you've been so dominant You know, you've achieved more Grand Prix victories than I achieved over 15 years in Formula One. You've done that in one season. It's off the scale.
Yeah, well, the beauty of it is that the titles, like the feelings are very different. Like the first one is very emotional because that's where like, okay, I achieved my goal, that's it. The second one, well now, because of the third one is like just in the middle of it, I would say, because this one is definitely like the dominant one and probably also the best one in terms of performance. So that's definitely something that I can be very proud of together with the team. You know, the season that we are having basically is pretty incredible.
We saw some really nice messages out there on social, your sister especially. Family's been a big part of your whole journey. We've mentioned many times before, your mother was a racer, your father, of course, was a Grand Prix driver. Your sister was expressing her pride in, and she put a lovely picture of the two of you as little kids together. That's something that has been a big part of your journey. Yeah,
I mean, I think our whole family lived for it. Of course, you know, I was traveling a lot with my dad all over Europe. So my dad also, and my sister didn't get to see her dad as much, I think, as a normal person. So, you know, there's a lot to it. And the same from my mom's side. Yeah, she was always very supportive. I think she's still always so nervous when I start a race. Poor her. I think she has to go to the toilet like 5-6 times a race. So I think she's sometimes quite happy when there's a safety car. You know, she has her little break.
Yeah.
But that's, I think, how much it means to the family as well.
Yeah, I don't see your father as nervous, maybe because he's been at that level in
I think
racing.
He can hide it quite well.
Is that right? Yeah, he does the poker face.
Yeah, I think he's still, like yesterday before the sprint, like he was almost like jumping up and down outside of the building before I jumped into the car. I think he was very excited about the race ahead. And I never forget, of course, the moments where we were still in go-karting and he was my mechanic. And of course, you know, as a mechanic and driver, you always try to tell, like, can you stand here or there? And, you know, you always, every lap that you pass, you look at your, well, for me, my dad. In very special moments, like when I was trying to win my world championship in go-karting, I could see him just like wandering around up and down, up and down. So he was so nervous. So, and then when I speak to him about it now, I think he is as nervous as he would be, or even more nervous than when he was driving himself, because, and I can relate, when I watch my friends race, I'm also more nervous than I am when I'm driving, because you're not in control. You are watching someone who you would like to see do well, like really well, but you can't control their like success or race. So I think that's why, yeah, he still gets very nervous like he's just, yeah, really into it.
When you mention karting, it reminds me of the late great Ayrton Senna, and he always reflected on how much fun he had in karting. You mentioned that World Championship in karting. Do you have that same sort of connection with the grassroots and where you are today? A championship's a championship. Yeah,
for sure. I mean, at the time, winning a World Championship was incredibly important. I remember that day like it was yesterday. It was such an important achievement for me in go-karting before I would then move on to cars. So yeah, for sure. There are a lot of great memories in go-karting. Yeah.
Well, Max, it's been great to be able to talk to you ahead of the Grand Prix. You are a 3-time world champion, but you've got a job to do this afternoon. So best of luck in the Qatar Grand Prix and congratulations on that 3rd World Championship.
Thank you.
And one thing, you say you look in the mirror. When you get to my age, you stop looking in the mirror.
You're like, no.
Which is all I can think about. Excellent, we got everything in there, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, unbelievable.
Yeah. Well done, son.